began today by saying you're a pragmatic politician, but you only stopped boycotting the Red Hill on the verge of running for mayor, or sorry, in the midst of running for mayor. How do you reconcile that with your pragmatism how do you reconcile that?
Yeah, so that was a personal position, and one that there was no need for me to, in fact, if Councillor Farr hadn't mentioned it to you, you wouldn't have asked me that question. It wouldn't have come out likely, or may have come out. So I think it's most important to measure a politician, measure someone on the actions that they take. So if I had, and when I was elected in 2003 into 2004, and I had tried to stop every expenditure on the Red Hill Expressway, every expenditure on the Red Hill Business Park, and try to stop the Maple Leaf Foods project, for example, for ideological purposes, I think you'd be worried about that, and you'd certainly want to say, you know, this is not the kind of guy, that's not pragmatic by any stretch of the imagination. With the airport, it's the same thing. The position, the concern I had, and Councillor Vertina at the time had, the loss of 3,000 acres of farmland. Are there other ways to achieve economic development rather than the loss of all that farmland? The brownfields, the other opportunities with the existing business parks, cultural industries, economic development focus in the lower city, the office development that I spoke about a couple of moments ago. That has been approved by the Ontario Municipal Board. 555 hectares are now available, which was a much lesser amount than what we City Council originally asked for. We need to implement that now. We absolutely need to implement that. I've been up there with Neil Everson driving the area and understand all the business parks up there. Ancaster's built out, virtually built out. Red Hill, he figures will be built out within probably a 7-year period, 7-8-year period. So 8, 9, 10 years from now, the airport lands are going to be where we're going to be putting those kinds of industrial uses.
Dan, your position on LRT differ from, say, Fred's?
Yeah, the commitment to LRT is really a council commitment to LRT. We voted unanimously in February 2013 in support of the Beeline LRT request, 100% provincial funding. And we moved to second motion, which was 15-1, so virtually unanimous. So what I'm committed to is the council position and the request for 100% provincial funding. What I want to emphasize is that at this point in time, with $15 billion on the table through the provincial budget for rapid transit throughout the GTHA, it's a terrible thing to be sending mixed messages to the province of Ontario. If you're running a business, whether it be a newspaper or other form of business, you never want to negotiate from a position of weakness. And you want to make sure you're very clear, and the request is 100% clear, and the group that you want the commitment from know exactly what you want. They don't see any cracks in the armor. So I'm very disappointed in Fred's position that he discounts the public consultation that we did, extensive consultation, the many discussions at council, the $10 million, 5 from Metrolinx, $5 million from the City of Hamilton, that led to the 30% implementable design that we have for the LRT on King Street, that Metrolinx has told us a number of times puts us in first place from a readiness perspective for rapid transit in the GTHA. So to go to more consultation, to back it up, to say what do we want, you know, Hamiltonians, puts us right at the back of the bus. And at a time when $15 billion is on the table and is not likely to be there in the future, concern over Mississauga-Brampton getting that funding, that 100% provincial funding. The other difference, of course, Mr. Clark, he has voted twice and spoke firmly in favor of LRT Beeline. And now, just in the last month and a half, 2 months or so, with the election heating up, has chosen a different path. So again, not a great way to negotiate, undermining City Council and our position that we put together based on the technical studies, based on the public consultation.
You're saying then that one way or another, Hamilton taxpayers are going to be on the hook for some small portion of it.
Well, the province is committed to 100% capital funding, and we push them to define what they mean by capital. It appears they mean the LRT project itself. So, the cars and all that sort of stuff, the rail lines.
So we're going to have to, that's the problem. We're going to have to assume we're going to have to ante up something.
Well, there'll be capital costs for us on the roads and the substructure. We know that the pipes along King Street, in this case, are old. They're going to have to be replaced in the next 10 years anyways. So that's a cost that I would suggest that we would have to spend in any case. The operating costs are unclear as to who's going to operate. We do know, though, in the study that has been done, is that LRT is less expensive to operate than buses, whether it be BRT or the buses we have today, given that it's electric and it's in the ground. It's a much larger 160 passenger vehicle operated by one operator. And it's going to drive ridership up because a lot of people don't get on the bus, but they do get on the train. And that is the experience that we've seen from other North American cities.